So I'm Samba Shivan, and I'm fortunate and I'm humbled to be the moderator here. So this topic is extremely close to my heart of this digital transformation and the value it's bringing. So initially we had a conversation a couple of days back as to what is it that we should try to talk about. So we said that we will kind of, we discussed a lot of topics and we said that, okay, we'll try to keep it informal. Collectively, you will see that we have more than about 120 or more years of experience in this panel. And each one comes with a lot of ideas about digital transformation, and each of you would have done some work at least on digital transformation, digital initiatives. So here we are restricting ourselves to only 3 kind of broad themes, and each one of us will kind of try and tell a story for 2 out of the 3 themes, and they will decide which 2 themes they will be talking about. The 3 themes are, one is very obvious, how to create value to the organization. How does digital transformation create value for the entire organization? As Giridhar mentioned in the previous topic, this is also a very ocean kind of subject. So there will be some ideas you can take from this. Second is, what are the kind of skill set challenges? Because while digital transformation, so as you see, people, process, technology, typically this is how the chain works. In the past, when I was working, you first look at the people and they develop the process and they look for technology to make the process efficient. Now it's starting the other way around. It somehow feels that technology is now driving the process and people are now becoming whether redundant or not redundant, we don't know. So it's the whole thing is that technology is starting to drive various actions of companies. So that is the second thing. Third is that we have got a plethora of technologies, as you would have seen, right? So how do they all come together? Because there are multiple systems. At least in Tata Play, we have at least 8 or 9 applications, each one talking to SAP. Whether they talk to SAP, how they talk to SAP, how they are integrated, what's the kind of nuances involved in that, what are the challenges which are there, and how is the combination of digital and phygital or physical. It's phygital is a new word which you all know. So these are the kind of broad 3 themes which we will be talking about, and it will be kind of more informal and a storytelling kind of an approach is what we are planning to take. So with that preamble, I would request Anil to start his experience, to share his knowledge and experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening to all of you. I think, as you rightly mentioned, the topic is very vast, and we'll try and do some, some bit of, sharing of knowledge, or again trying to get some inputs from you as well when to make it, interactive session. But yes, when we talk about our experience and especially on the digitalization, which used to be a buzzword pre-COVID, and generally being driven by CIOs and to some extent CFOs, because the idea was to have some amount of optimization in, to be brought to the books, or some profitability improvement idea. But then it became so critical during pandemic time that survival of business was dependent on it. So there was forcibly adoption of digitalization. Somebody did it, by choice, or for others there was no choice at all, because the survival in the system or the business operations were under threat. The fact remains is that the pandemic has been a boon for digitalization, or kind of accelerated the adoption of technology. The fact remains, beyond, if you talk about pandemic, I feel currently we are beyond pandemic, so to say. We have survived, and I'm taking liberty to say we are beyond pandemic at this point of time. I think there is a extended arm of digitalization, which, having tasted the blood of optimization during pandemic period, there's extension being created, that what if there's going to be again another catastrophe which may create a problem in the business continuity. So that being the on the back of the mind, people or the organizations are continuing the journey of digitalization. And of course, what is the bonus in this case is the optimization which comes in, or the competitiveness which organizations can look for. Having said that, when I come especially to our kind of industry, which is more of a logistic industry, I think with the increase in volumes, manually it becomes very difficult for people to do sorting and to have speed and also connect on time. So there are two use cases which I'll talk about where there's a big good amount of value which is created by digitalization. And and also we can discuss later on, if time permits, that how further enhancement can happen. So when I talk specifically of logistic industry, if you look at from revenue assurance point of view, with a large number of shipment being there and a very small window of processing being there towards evening when shipment needs to be processed and connected, I think it becomes very important to get right information. And when I say right information in logistics, it is weight and dimension of the shipment. Of course, value also plays a role, but these are three dimensions, three things which play a major role as far as logistics is concerned for derive their revenue. So if you try to process that manually, it takes a lot of time. So there is a digitalization when you have a machines, very intelligent machines, which while doing sorting also does dimension and actual weight of the shipment while it is moving. So what happens in that case? Three things are happening together. You are capturing, basis the barcode which has been put in, you are capturing actual weight, you are capturing dimension weight, and also backend, if you are able to put QR code, also gathers the value of the shipment which somebody is trying to send. So all the three parameters being there, then that ensures that one, sorting is happening, two, revenue is getting captured rightly. Because generally revenues are captured or the revenues are charged or the customer is charged basis the actual weight or the dimension weight, whichever is high. So all that parameters while sorting is happening getting captured, that gives a mileage or the extra speed with accuracy to the logistic companies, so that they can handle much larger number of pieces in versus manual system. So that one, accuracy is there, right billing is there, and also at the same time they are able to process millions of shipment in a very small window of 2 to 3 hours. Because generally if you see, pickups are happening towards evening time, and night they have to be collected so that they can be delivered in the next day. So that window, because of digitalization, helps organizations to have revenue assurance and and rightly sorted out also for right delivery at the destination. That's one. Secondly, the other optimization on the value creation happens with the current machine learning kind of a system, which is like when you have historical data available of deliveries, then you can prioritize your deliveries basis the previous behavior of the consignee. So if nowadays we know that there are nuclear families, people, both husband, wife, work and nobody at home. So how do you deliver shipments? So if in the past those people have preferred to have delivery either early in the morning or late in the evening, that gets captured, and when next time a new shipment comes in, basis the machine learning, that route designing happens in such a way that those attempts happens towards those time only, so that you are not making a futile attempt, thereby saving cost on that. One, that customer is happy that at his preferred time he is getting delivery of the shipment. At the same time, for logistic companies to avoid those kind of costs which are futile costs which can be avoided. So these are the two use cases which works from the efficiency point of view, and also basis the digitalization of the processes, organizations are able to derive value. With that, looking at time, I will stop that.
Thank you. Thanks, Anil. I'll just quickly summarize what Anil has said. One is, he said that machine learning is a phenomenal case as to how it can improve the efficiency. Second, also he said how the revenue assurance is made, how to increase the scale of throughput within a short time frame of 2 to 3 hours. So these are the two use cases. Yes, Yogesh, I know. Please go ahead with your experience. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. I belong to the NBFC sector, and if you look back, hello. Yeah. So I belong to NBFC sector, and what we have seen in the banking or NBFC sector, if we see the technology evolution, so it started with in early days as a cost saving measure, or to the cost reduction measure as a technology was used, and now that it has been completely shifted towards value creation, in the sense because once you try to achieve a value creation through a technological evolution, the cost saving or any other parameter, be it is your technology become customer centric, it improves your turnaround time, it reduces the cost of operations, and it offers so many benefits. So now I think there has been a paradigm shift from the to a value creation when it comes to the use of technology, and it's quite important for an NBFC sector, as we have seen lot many new age fintech companies who are trying to compete with the bigger entities just because of the technology. So that is quite to embrace a new technology or to it's quite important for a NBFC sector. And if when I just try to quote an example or in case of our my previous entity, Ashirwad Microfinance, how technology has changed the overall perspective for the company is we did a major technological upgradation in 2018. And Ashirwad is a microfinance company which is handling close to 20 lakhs of borrowers with a field staff of around 4,000 plus. So this when we changed the entire technology, where we did all things like from the customer onboarding till the disbursement of the loan, everything was digitized, and it has helped us to increase the volume of per day disbursement from 5 crore to 20 crore. Just so we were able to increase our business 3 times. So after this technological upgradation, Ashirwad AUM rose from 1,500 to 5,000 crore in a span of 2 years, and that was I mean, it was an unbelievable stride which we were able to take we were able to take with the help of the technology, where we automated everything. And apart from that, we also did that our loan LOS or loan origination, loan management system were fully integrated with our accounting system. So which also ensured that the data accuracy was of was taken care of. So this helped us to, tremendous value creation for our company.
Yeah, thanks Yogesh. That's a wonderful story. 3x in a span of 2 years. I wish we could have that kind of a growth in our business. Okay, thank you. I am sure many companies would love to do that. Can we move to Ankit, please? Yeah.
So I represent FarmEasy. So we are a technology first, digital first company, right? We have done a lot of things on which has enhanced product or customer experience on the app. But I would like to share my experience specifically with respect to finance team, right? Because that is what we are trying to do. How can we digitize it? There are some initiatives which happen on its own. We have not done it, but it has worked for us. That's why I'm sharing with all the guys. Get someone from the finance background in your products team, right? Because that helped a lot. We were fortunate enough to have a chartered accountant as a senior product manager, right? That has helped us a lot because he understands the language, what a finance team will speak. They can discuss their thoughts. They can discuss the necessity of the data which we are asking. Secondly, try to get more frequent conference calls with your tech team and the finance team, because what I've seen that even finance team has started the tech jargons. आज DAG down है, S3 bucket में data आ गया है, right? So more or less, if you engage them with the technology team, they will pick up the task in a much better way, smoother way, and things will move in a very fluid fashion. Third thing is also expose your team with various automation skills. There are various online classes, offline classes, which will help team understand how can they automate, because we do roughly 10 lakh orders in a month, right? So handling those large data sets or data points is, unless and until you train your team or you make them understand how can they use technology in a better way, it becomes difficult to grasp all these data points. And fourth is create a dedicated finance analytics team, because that will help you or get your things done specifically from the finance report point of view. I think these are the 4 key takeaways from my side.
Very crisp and clear. Huh? All 4 are fantastic thoughts. Actually, first time I'm hearing, when I heard 2 days back, we have got a product manager who's a chartered accountant. I have not heard in my 30 years of experience a product manager being a chartered accountant, by the way. Yeah, please, we'll go to Rahul, please. Yeah.
Thanks. So out of the 3 themes, I thought of to pick the skill set challenges. So first, I would want to say that in finance, as a finance guy, if I reflect upon my own journey, so 22 years back when I started, the term like digital transformations were not there, or they were not being spoken. The term which was spoken at that time was computerization. So we are moving from the manual books to the computers. Excel was the big savior. Then came somewhere automation, machine learning, and then we came on to digital, and future could be chat GPT or AI. So if I have to draw a sketch of the skill set challenges, I don't see any challenges coming up. I think we need to keep catching up with the new thing. And please pardon me for my terms which I use. Often in my experience, I've seen that technology, when it comes, except the bigger company, big size company, in the medium and the small size, it's always assumed, I don't know what's the rationale, that finance will be much better equipped. I think finance function is seen like a Shahrukh Khan of the firms, that when IT comes up, finance dekh lega. How come? At times I ask, did we ever claim, or anyone in finance claim, that in chartered accountancy or MBA we learnt IT to the core that we can develop something on the IT? No, but on the lighter side, I think it is the trust, it is the reliability and the credibility of the finance colleagues that we believe, and the most of the organization believe, that these people understand the business quite well, then on an overall basis, from an helicopter view, umbrella basis, whatever, and they can also seize the opportunity. We do risk and opportunity, we do many different kind of analysis we have heard during the whole day today. So possibly from there we can seize out, we can figure out what are the opportunity lying there, and we can lies better. So here again, instead of skill set challenges, the communication comes in. How better you can perceive the future, how better you can perceive what are the requirement which is coming up in the future pipeline. And can we talk to the relevant people? Can we draw some sketch how the future could be? Say today I don't know how the chat GPT will shape up with the Excel, and whether something Excel analysis will be required or not, except giving a command to the Excel that, okay, do this analysis from the data points. So I think from the skill set challenges, I don't see a challenges, but I think meeting the expectations of the larger organization, that where finance can fit in there. And that's where, if I have to look upon as a head of finance, how I look upon my new hire or the new team members is that I assume that if a person is a chartered accountant or qualified into accountancy or in finance, the finance number is given. The years of experience will definitely come in. But something which we look upon is that how well the person is able to gauge or predict the future, where the opportunity could lie in the interview round itself, and are the people who are coming up are digitally savvy. And I think a lot of people are digitally savvy. Forget about the finance people. Our senior citizens have got used to during COVID by start using all the apps, because everything was forced to be used to be on app. And now sometimes I suffer even at family front, because they are using so much of gadgets and everything, that if you have to interact also, you have to send a WhatsApp that please come out for dinner or come out for those. I think that's
quite normal in my house.
Yeah. So I think that is also part of digital, but when we look upon from the organization perspective, we have to get everything together on how we can create a value. So now if I'm a finance guy, I'm talking about, and coming from a healthcare, and our company's motto is that how do we bring the true relief, and I come from a diabetes care background. So there, if my people just do a analysis and give some insights, is that good enough? Probably no. How can we bring out, say, as I said, from diabetes care, can we predict the sugar levels, or can we do some intuitions, or we can do something from learning from the so many research are going on. Someone was doing a research from the TS about the sugar level that are on the research, but from finance, what we can do? Can we engage the caregiver, caretakers about the informations? And on that, generally the business comes that give it free. But end of the day, I'm also a finance guy, so we need to do that analysis that I want to give this tech free, but what is the business driving, what is the potential lying there, and those things. So for gazing that kind of understanding from the patient perspective or user perspective, if my team members are able to understand that, I think a much better and realistic financial analysis could be done. So I think instead of skill set challenges, I think continuously upgrading the skill set more onto whatever is in the trend and whatever is coming in the pipeline, if we are able to gauge that, I think we can deliver much better to the organization.
Couldn't agree more on the last sentence you made, that continuous learning. I also believe in continuous learning. So, Sachin, on to you.
Yeah, hi. So I will discuss more on technology as a value creator. Now, when you say value creation, and specifically to the finance people, we think one thing, okay, how to impact the bottom line. How can we increase the revenue, or how can we reduce the cost? But I think value creation is much beyond that. For me, the value creation is something on the customer service. Value creation is something on the brand reputation. Value creation is something on the resources, and definitely value creation is something on the bottom line impact as well. Yeah, so these are some of the broad categories of the value creation. I'll give the example. So I was also into consultancy, and one of the client of mine, they had 4 divisions. Each division was around more than 3,000 crore rupees. So the total size of the company was more than 20K, big business. And they have one process called the royalty. So what is the royalty? So these people, they tie with the oil companies. The oil companies provide the oil to the dealers, and since they're using their brand, the brand of the client, they used to charge, the client used to charge the royalty from the oil companies. For example, IOCL or BPCL or whatsoever it is. I'll not reveal the name of the client or something. But then what used to happen, 4 different divisions, each division had 4 different CEOs, each division had a different team for the contract negotiation, different team for the sales order, different team for the billing. Sales, so the billing used to happen from the finance team. Same product, same company, different divisions, different CFOs. Yes, you see the mess it creates. The client or the oil companies are chased by 4 different people from 4 different divisions for the contract negotiations. They are being chased by the sales order creation because the value may be different, and they are chased by the finance team that they have done the billing and they want to get the payment back. So they are being chased by 4 different teams from the same company, and they are getting 4 different invoices from the same company. Now, how is that? And one day the group CFO asks that how much royalty are we getting? No one had the clue. Each division was scrambling to get the answer because the numbers given by each subdivision of a division was different. The finance is giving X number because he's done the billing. The business team is saying no, we have have the deal or the contract for this many rupees for the year, so it cannot be. So there was no sync, and everything was used to happen in spreadsheets. And this happens probably everywhere, because I have seen the small companies, I have seen the biggest of the companies in the world. Whatever system you use SAP, you use Oracle, you use any system, ultimately the reports and everything happens in spreadsheets. Am I correct? Okay. And spreadsheets and the PPTs. So what happens in spreadsheet? It has, there's a pure disconnect between different departments. Pure disconnect. When I went over there, this should be really stopped. This has to stop. So there is a common system. They used to have SAP for the transition system, but reporting system was totally different. Everything was bought in SAP for all the divisions at the entire company code level. So you can see the sales order or the contracts itself used to happen in SAP. From the contract, the billing used to happen from SAP. From the billing, the sales order used to happen from SAP, and the billing also used to happen from SAP. Now everything was so streamlined. The CFO can see anytime that what is the total revenue getting from the royalty. And you won't believe there were many cases in which the contract had expired, but they had no clue. When everything came in the system, they knew the start date of the contract, the end date of the contract, everything was visible, more transparent. And more than that, they also could see for the same sort of a product, they were charging different royalties. So one division for the same product was getting a less royalty, one division was getting more royalty. So that everything stopped because everything became in the single platform. And with this, the total royalty then we found out was around 400 crores, and it is not less, and it's increasing. So, that is what the power of digitalization is. We need to have a common platform, and it is the CFO, us basically, who has to drive that. So you can say it's IT, but I think more than IT, it's the process. The process has to be defined first, and then the IT will come later. The process is more important. So this is one of the examples I was having.
Yeah. Sachin, you touched a very, very important point. In fact, I can clearly relate to it. In our company as well, in Tata Play, we had various systems, for example, various applications. There is a treasury management system which we got from Kariba. Then there is a PRPO system which we got from, say, Zycus. Then there's a travel management system which we got from Quest2 Travel, Q2T, right? Then we had a PRM system for movement of all the materials, which was homegrown system. Then there was something called Victory software, which we purchased for RA system. So at least some 10, 12 applications. All these were taken as projects at different points in time in the life of the company, right? Something would have started in 2013, something 2015, something 2017. So you have to keep on ensuring that all these systems, talk to each other in the right way, and they are giving the right set of information. The moment, since it's very easy to lose control when you have multiple systems and they are not talking to each other, and you think that everything has been automated, but automation, mindless automation also is not good, right? So you have to make sure this integration of everything coming into SAP, there is one version of truth. That's something which is very, very critical, which is what I think Sachin talked about, because otherwise it can create more chaos. Automation can create more chaos than solving problems. Yeah, so we'll come back to Anil. So far we have touched upon, as a segue, we have talked about various instances of value creation and challenges. Some of the people talked about challenges and some topics. So we said that we will go 2 rounds, and this will be a shorter round hopefully, because we have got 22 minutes as per this clock. So each one will give a shorter version of the second experience on the relevant topics here. Then at the end I'll try and summarize. Yes, Anil.
I think I could not have agreed more with you that over a period of time we keep looking at solutions and we keep adopting them in our journey. The fact remains is that unless until all these individual solutions talk to each other and provide an integrated view, obviously this creates a lot of chaos. So one of the challenge which I'm sure many organizations would have faced, and similarly we also faced, that you have a different verticals, so to say, if I am allowed to call, that each software or each application is a vertical by itself, and then to integrate them to talk, and make sense out of it from the data which each one is holding, and bringing them to a common platform is a challenge which probably needs to be dealt with, and that's where probably you get one version of truth. So this is, I'm sure this is a journey for every organization which has been in existence for at least 15-20 years, because of late we have seen that there is no one solution available which fits for all requirement. So that's why you need to have different solutions, and then need for integration arises. One is that. Second thing which probably touched upon by one of my colleagues is skill set of people. I think going forward, as we see the profile of people, those who are going to be working, because more and more digitalization is happening, more and more computerization happening, and we know that now automation or the computer system is not just for the finance, but it cut across all the functions. So need for, especially if I am to talk about finance, need for talent, which will be more of a techno-financial need, which would going forward would be felt much more, and that's where probably organizations will need to look at it, rather than having just pure finance talent, We need to have a combination of talent which can work and make the system successful. And that's where a lot of efficiency and, as other colleague mentioned about that, we had a product manager from business side having a chartered accountant. Like here also there's a combination of two things, which product generally is not a specialization of CA, and getting into from finance and product mix. Similarly here, since we are talking about transformation through systems, here techno-financial skill set will play a major role in ensuring that going forward new systems, and which by the way are coming much faster as compared to the historical times, when you have a system maybe it works for 10 years, 12 years, but now the life of technology is probably 2 to 3 years. Technology is changing very fast. So if you need to derive ROI of that, it depends on how fast we are able to adopt those technologies and get ROI of it, and that's where probably this kind of skill set will help. With that, I will stop.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes, yeah, Yogesh. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. So, sir, in fact, in our NBFC sector, we have, I mean, we always have our loan origination, loan management system could be FinOne or a SAP. And when it comes to data reporting, it's always like a Tableau or a Power BI which is being used. So it is inevitable for an
actually we use both. That's again my question. Actually, some people use Power BI, some functions use Tableau. So I said that we should have only one.
Yeah,
so some people,
absolutely.
it's like historical reasons, right? It's all historical reason, right? So person dependent and that function when
absolutely.
it started.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So it is so much person dependent one, and then it is so you get one data like a disbursement report from one system, then this Power BI or any other reports which you use for as a risk management tool, more of a like to analyze your portfolio, to analyze which is your delinquent portfolio, which is your good portfolio, which is your performing state, non-performing state, and so many parameters. So it's very inevitable to have multiple systems. This is from a reporting perspective. Other than that, we have an accounting system which is a third one, which is also integrated. So use of technology, different technology, and effective use of technology is very critical here. And for that, we really need a proper skill set. And what we have seen in at least in last couple of organization experience, I mean, it's take time to develop the certain skill set. And what we have seen that once they develop their skill set, they generally try to look out for a different opportunities, because they prefer to work in a technological company than as a technical person, technology person in a finance company. So that is what our experience has been. So
yeah, you are right. People with the technical knowledge and finance, they try to move faster. Their longevity in the company is a little bit less, is what we have also experienced. Because they quickly get a job elsewhere. But there's a demand for such talent, right? Techno-finance.
Demand is there, and then they see that their job enrichment in the technology company than a finance company.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
I would like to say, I think digitization is a journey, and I would say never-ending journey. It keeps, there's no end state to it, right? For example, we are a B2C app, so we receive a lot of money from our customer in the form of, say, credit card, debit cards, or COD orders, right? We do a lot of reconciliation with payment gateway companies, third-party logistic partners as well. So earlier we used to do on Excel, like getting file from, say, your logistics team and your in-house system file. Then we one step ahead, we started feeding that data into the system and then started doing reconciliation. Now we have created one step ahead and directly done an API integration with the tool with itself, right?
Yeah,
so it's a journey, it will keep on going and it will...
API is the best. We do use API integration for many of our reconciliations. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I think Anil and others have spoken a lot about it, so I'll give you a slightly different context. So digital transformation, definitely we all have heard about in finance functions, but here what I'm trying to explain it in 2 minutes is that the experience which I had going back to my technology team and to develop something for the patients. Now why patients? Because again I'm from the healthcare, so if I have to cater it to patients who are in diabetes care, how do they cater? I've seen personal experience, and a lot goes from our own personal reflection and going from the market, meeting the customers and their need. So working closely with the commercial team, my self-belief is that commercial knows business. Finance, definitely champs are the champions in finance, but we have a very good understanding of business, and we also understand technology. So if we try to merge all these three, we can drive some solution. Now, what kind of solutions? So if we go to big hospitals and all, they have everything in place, we get reports. But how about if I go to a particular doctor who is, say, endocrinologist or diabetologist, who is coming out and looking upon some data? So if we map the data in a digital form, and that's where we understand what is the business, what's in there for the doctor, what's in there for the company, and how do we do it in a such a way which is scalable, which should be expandable, and which could be sustainable also in the future. So we tried doing that, and we find that yes, that's a fantastic propositions where we can offer a very good solution which was there on pen and paper. But if we just digitalize it gives the transparency not only to the doctor but also to the, say, take example of the parents. Then how, whether I rely the testing which is done by my father, he might say, beta, sugar level is okay, but actually it was high. But if that is digitally connected to the app and it goes into certain form of reports, that definitely gives an indicator. So that's a piecemeal information for the patient, for the family. But if I have that collated data, I'm mindful of the data privacy of the patient, I'm not looking upon names and other, but trends, that gives me an insight also where the company need to spend on research and development. So I think looking beyond the finance, looking beyond what we have it, if we look beyond in the future where we really need to invest in time and money, I think that gives a big opportunity which will be unfold in the future.
Excellent, thank you. Actually, one point which struck me is that business knowledge you said, right? So we didn't touch upon that. I think the knowledge of finance team about the business is extremely critical in order that we become a better business partner. Happy that you touched upon it. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Sachin.
So what happens is, as we all know, that there is one transaction system, maybe SAP or Oracle, and then there is a reporting system. So reporting system as such can be spreadsheet, can be PPT, can be Power BI, can be ClickSense. So a lot of data is there in the transaction system. And what do the people do majorly in finance? They try to get the data from SAP, download into spreadsheets, massage the spreadsheet, bring it into a shape and present it to the management. This is what typically happens. So it's something called RNA. RNA is reporting and analysis, which we want. Our reporting is much more, analysis is very less. We all should agree that this is what typically happens. We spend a lot of time in reporting and very less time in analysis or giving some insights. Now, what does the CFO want? CFO wants analysis, insights, but we struggle because the people who are there on the ground, they struggle to get the report on time because this report has to be delivered by workday 3 or workday 5 or by this and that. So they are more focused to get the data in the right format and present it to the management. That is what they are into. That is what typically happens.
The job doesn't actually end there, is what you're saying, right? So the job, we feel so tired after delivering the report and happy that after that work is done. Work doesn't end at giving the report. Yeah. That's the beginning, right? That's the beginning.
Exactly. But if you ask the person who's doing that reporting, ask him, is he happy with this? He will say, no, it's non-valued activity. Reporting, getting the data, and the biggest of the non-valued activity is the reconciliation, data reconciliation. My data, your data, this data, and the data doesn't reconcile. And spend a lot of time in the data reconciliation. That happens, audience. That happens. So what we need to do is, what we have built in the current company, if we are using RPAs, so all the reporting, downloading, everything happens through RPAs. And the dashboarding should happen from Power BI. We were having ClickSense earlier. The limitation of ClickSense is we are dependent upon the IT. The Power BI is something that we can do it ourselves. Now, how to inculcate the culture of moving from ClickSense to Power BI, which the person can develop the report himself automatically. That is one big thing. So first of all, we need to create a sense of urgency. that this is really something which we, we had to take it to the top management, this is happening, and we need to create a sense of urgency. When it says sense of urgency, it should be reflected on the behavior of the CFO, the CEOs, that this is to be addressed. What we have done is, we have, first of all, see the current process, what they are doing, then bring the new system and show them the power of the new system, the power of Power BI, for example. So it can be Power BI, it can be Tableau or something else as well. Show them the power of that. And then hire a good trainer, and the training should be at least 2 or 3 days, fully, just like a classroom training. It should happen like that. It shouldn't happen that, okay, you can do this course from online, you can do this course from YouTube. It doesn't happen. If you do that, it will not happen at all. So you have to bring that sense of urgency, hire a right trainer, give them the training for 2 or 3 days, and more than that, when anyone is taking the training, ask them. So a lot of things, what happens is, people take the training for 3 days and then they forget it. So what we do is, we ask them, before you take the training, also give us 2 or 3 reports which you want to automate, and give me the timelines as well. Then when do you wish to develop this new report in Power BI? So that is the skill set challenge what we have addressed, because people didn't have the skill set of Power BI. Now everybody, because this thing has been done, the CEO has given, CFO has given 3 days off to them. When I say off, means no office work at all. 3 full complete days, hire a good trainer, and then ask them to develop the report, and also give the data to the trainer. The data should be relevant to the organization, because normally the trainer will give his own set of data, which doesn't make sense actually. So give them your own data, get the training, and also implement it by saying that you need to develop this report in Power BI within this much time frame. That is what we need to do.
Fantastic story actually. So he talked about very clearly the need for training and making it kind of mandatory and relevant training. It's just not just going and training yourself and forgetting about it. So I would like to, in fact, this triggered a thought for us. In fact, we also do a lot of trainings in the company. I'll spend maybe 3-4 minutes, since we have got some time, trying to talk about our automation journey, or what we call as a digital transformation journey. So I joined this company 10 years back, Tata Play, and at that time, yes, there was a level of automation, but it was not, I would say, the way it is today. So we said that first year, we said it's a year of automation. We did some 43 projects. We did a lot of automation, this, that, within SAP, outside SAP. Then slowly we got at all these applications which I talked about, right? Zycus. Then we also got Kairiba. Then we got Quest to Travel. Then we got M-Sales application, M-Service application, this, that. Then 2017, we did RPA. We have now a lot of bots working in the system. Then later on, we have now gotten into AI ML. There are many projects which we are doing. At least I can remember 5 or 6 projects which are using AI and ML enabled. We are able to predict our churn. We are able to predict which customer is fraudulent, which dealer is fraudulent. A lot of things we are able to do. So net, we have been using technology in a very big way. And in terms of people, we have data scientists in our team. We have cyber security experts in our team. We have people who are non-finance background in our team. A lot of people are there. And incrementally, we are hiring more of these people rather than just pure CA. So CA++ is what I am looking at when we are hiring anybody. Just pure CA, I think it's very difficult to survive in today's world, is what I personally feel. So, and we also keep learning a lot. So the net result of all these things is that our reports, monthly reports, which goes to the director, board of directors, is on day 1, whether it is Saturday or Sunday. Day 1, it's an analytical report. I would say 30-40 slides of more English and more insights, so to say, and less of, I would say, data. So that is going on first day of the month. So which means that we have got another 29 days to look at this report and take actions. The business has 29 days time to take action. Second is that usually in the past what used to happen is at the year end, typically first 3 months, April, May, June, people would say, don't come to me, I am doing audit work. After I finish the audit, I will take up the business. That's normal. So we have been fortunate, or we have been working on it. So, and we have been closing our books and getting the audit done, and also the board meeting done by 8th of April for the last 3 years. So that is something which we are really proud about. So So these are some of the results of the various digital transformation. And the other important thing is the number of people in our team has been constant for the last almost 10 years, when the business size has gone up at least 3x. So that also is the power of automation, I would say, power of kind of digital transformation. With that, I think we will give back 5 minutes since we started late. So I think I must thank everybody for the great insights which you have got, and you covered various topics here. We have covered at least the amount of experience, and some of the new thoughts which I got here is tremendous, and I am sure you would have got one or two good ideas. And if there is any question or anything from the audience, we can use this 5 minutes for. Diksha, you can.